चलिए जी, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Tamsila Habib. I'm a lecturer in Mechanical Engineering Department, UET New Campus. This new campus is a KSK campus. So it is declared now as a new campus of Mechanical Engineering, new campus of UET. So both of these campuses, this is old campus and that one is a new campus. So I'm a lecturer over there since 2017. Before that, I was I was working as an assistant professor in University of Lahore, and I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering from UET. Then I did my MSc in thermal power engineering from UET, and after that I started my PhD in 2019. And now my PhD is almost towards the ending phase. I have submitted my thesis, and within few weeks, inshallah, I will finish that one as well. Before, in between that one, I got a chance to go to UK on a split site program. That's why and I won the Commonwealth scholarship, and that's why for that reason I got a chance to live over there for 1.5 years to do my research part in that way. My research areas specifically it is in the it's a nanofluid for solar absorption refrigeration. This is a performance enhancement of absorption refrigeration system by introducing nanofluids in that one. So I just work with the lithium bromide based nanofluids, and today I am just discussing with you the topic that is the smart HVAC. Smart HVAC is basically this comes under the heading of energy conservation and management. Okay? Energy conservation and management, we have, and one of the major energy consuming entity in a building or in our domestic level is our air conditioners, or if we go for the higher level, that is your HVAC, okay, heating, ventilation, air conditioning system. To open up this topic in front of you, I'm a lecturer. I'm from the academic. I knew all of this from the academic field, but you people are, mashallah, from the professional HVAC. So I'm just a little lamp in front of the suns. You all are very much experienced in that, and this is just a chit chat between academic and industry. Okay, I'm not an expert of this one. I have just touched it. I have just read it. I have just uh, go through it through books and through research, and I did all this work in the labs. But you people have done this in the field. And the field and the labs and the academics and the books are different, but both of these are what they are interlinked. Before books and before academic, the field is nothing, and without field, academics is nothing. So my visit over here, जब मैं आ रही थी तो मैं यही सोच के आ रही थी कि मैं जा क्यों रही हूँ, मतलब मेरा पर्पस क्या है वहां जाने का. So I reached on the conclusion only this one, because this is only for the academia and industry linkage. Because I'm from the industry, I'm from the academia, I'm in the university representative, and you people are from the industry. So we can come closer to each other, because in the past decades, we knew that due to this barrier, we don't know what is going on in the industry, and industry after passing out from the university, they didn't in touch with their academic fields or with their university. And what is in the west, or in the western culture, or as the universities mods, might you know that university is moving towards more university, or specifically Pakistan is now the full signatory member of the Washington Accord, and because of that full signatory member, Pakistan's academic system is changed, and it's moved towards the OBE system, that is an outcome based education system. And one of the entity of the OBE system is that there should be a strong linkage between professional education and then the industry. So I'm here only to build up that. linkage between the academia and industry, because I can think so कि मैं आप लोगों को कुछ बता सकती हूँ in the HVAC के बारे में, because you are people are expert of this. और ये सिर्फ टॉपिक एक इंट्रोड्यूस कराना था, एक सिंपल एक चिट के तौर पे. सो मुझसे बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सपेक्ट मत कीजिएगा, जितना है वो इन स्लाइड्स पे है, और आई बिलीव कि आप लोग मुझसे ज़्यादा जानते हैं. ठीक है. So this is just okay, what is smart HVAC, where the world is moving nowadays, where the world is going, कहाँ कहाँ जा रहे हैं लोग, क्या सोच रहे हैं, हमें क्या करना है और क्या हम कर रहे हैं. जस्ट थॉट प्रोवोकिंग इवेंट, दिस थॉट प्रोवोकिंग आवर कि जो हमें 1 घंटा मिला है उसमें हमने सिर्फ ये थोड़ा सा एक सोचेंगे. सो इट इज जस्ट नाउ डेज हर कोई एक बहुत आम सुन रहा है कि वो क्या है, AI के बारे में. AI is what AI is playing a very major role nowadays in shaping the world. We know that we can't move, we can't walk, we can't fight, we can't war. Whatever we have to do, we have to use the AI. See? So there is a link of this. I tried to build up the link. What is the AI role in HVAC? Okay, this is all about this. What the problem is, first of all, we will see the problem. What is, we know that HVAC or the AC, simple AC in a domestic, घर के अंदर एक कमरे के अंदर भी अगर हम चला रहे हैं, आप लोग वैसे मैं आप एक घर के कमरे की एक्चुअली मैं मिसाल हमेशा स्टूडेंट्स के सामने से शुरू करती हूँ, बट यू पीपल अंडरस्टैंड कि it's a very big white elephant, that it's a big energy consuming entity, that it about 40% to 50%, 40% in the normal building, and it increased 50 to 60% energy consumption in the commercial buildings. Okay. If you know the exact figure, definitely you will more masters in that. There 40% to 50% of the energy consumption is due to HVAC. जैसे ही आपका सिस्टम ऑन होता है वह हमें पता चल जाता है. It's a big that what is going on out of our pockets. कि जैसे AC ऑन होगा तो आपका 40-50 हज़ार आराम से निकल जाएगा एक कमरे के AC के लिए साथ भी. So one of the major reason for this is that it is consuming 40 to 50% of the building energy. Then it is what it when your system starts. अब ये वो चीजें हैं जो शायद इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट या एक लेमैन या एक आम टेक्नीशियन ना सोच रहा हो, but we being a researcher, we being an academic person, we have to think on it. Okay, what is going on? Whenever your system starts, तो क्या होता है, fossil fuel consumption होना शुरू हो जाती है. Whenever the fossil fuel is consuming or it's burning, then there is the carbon dioxide emissions there. If the carbon dioxide emission is there, then definitely its amount is going to increase in our environment. So what we are doing, we are cooling our inside rooms, but we are accumulating carbon dioxide outside our rooms. So what will happen when you are cold over here, but at the moment when you open the door, what happens? Hot air and the very uncomfortable environment comes to you. So what is that? Okay, we are in a comfortable zone in 1 hour, but we are not in the comfortable zone in the next hour. So we at the very second moment we find where are our cars, and then we open up the cars doors and then enter in them and then just start AC on karo jaldi se. See, this is what we are facing nowadays, and this is the normal thing. This is normal because by very few decades, we are talking right now, a few minutes back, few decades before this HVAC or air conditioning, this was considered as a luxury item. But nowadays, it becomes a need. It becomes a necessity. इसको आप luxury item नहीं कह सकते. आहिस्ता 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 जितना आपका global warming और जितना आपका temperature बढ़ता जा रहा है, it becomes a necessity, or it becomes without this we can't even work, we can't even do anything. We can't even eat if the environment is not comfortable for us. See, so this is what we are doing. This is not only the energy consumption, we are polluting the environment after running this big elephant. So heavy reliance of fossil fuels powered, क्योंकि जितने भी हैं वो सारे हमारे क्या हैं, compression cycle है, and compression cycle is on it's an electric driven cycle, and whenever there is an electric driven cycle, then you need to run the through the fossil fuels, and carbon dioxide will emit in the environment, and that will definitely trap the greenhouse gases, and your environment outside this building, in this envelope, it will increase the temperature of that environment. This is also one of the biggest problems. So peak demand strain on power grids lead to higher emissions from the power plants as well. Okay. Then there is a refrigerants and ozone depletion. These are very common problems that are related to this HVAC system. So there are refrigerants and ozone depletion. This is somehow many people knew this factor nowadays. It is very common. Okay, so those are the refrigerants that CFCs or HCFCs, they are causing the ozone depletion and all of this factor. Then there is an air pollution and indoor air quality issues. There are water consumption. If there are water cooling system, जहाँ पे भी आपका cooling system है, cooling towers है, then water consumption is too much. जितना आपका बढ़ता जाएगा system, उसके accordingly वो बढ़ता जाएगा. Then there is a e-waste from obsolete HVAC equipment. This is also कि अगर कभी हम सोचें कि जो हमारे obsolete systems हो गए, अगर हमने properly उनको clean up नहीं किया है, उनकी जो refrigerants है उनको suck out नहीं किया और उसको dispose off नहीं किया, then that refrigerant is where it is not the point of only one AC or two AC or a small unit. When you go for the higher, definitely think on your points, think on your systems. When they are huge systems, then definitely the bigger chillers and the bigger systems are there. And if you are not going to dispose of them proper way, then definitely they are going to pollute our houses. Consider this country, consider this land your house. As we are keeping clean our house, try to clean the country and the land as it is. क्योंकि उस लेवल पे जब जाके हम सोचेंगे तो फिर हम इसके लिए कुछ कर पाएंगे. ठीक है. Then there is a e-waste from obsolete HVAC equipment. Then there is an urban heat island effects. ठीक है. तो ये heat effects जितने आपको मैंने अभी बताया कि वो बढ़ते चले जाते हैं ये. So these are all the problems commonly we discuss about the HVAC. So if the problems are there, then definitely we need to think of the solutions of these problems. Okay? We being the engineers, we being the technicians, we being the masters of this field, we have to think of it. Okay, how can we reduce all of this? Because they are affecting us. They are affecting not only us, they are affecting our future generation, they are affecting everyone. ठीक है. तो इसके long term impacts हैं. To how could we minimize them? How could we think on them? We need to not to think only on how to install. अच्छा, एक और चीज में हमें अक्सर हम लोग अपने स्टूडेंट्स के साथ डिस्कस करते हैं. Whenever you want to do something, think of a long term plan. Don't think of only of a short term planning. क्योंकि लोग अभी आपको वो 100 years प्लानिंग का अगर लोग आप लोग सारे डेफिनेटली इस वक्त सब सोच रहे हैं, 100 years प्लान करने के बाद आपने वो देखा है कि लोगों ने क्या कुछ कर दिया. 100 years का प्लानिंग के बाद दुनिया का एक मैप जो वो सोचते थे चेंज होना है, वो हमारे सामने अब चेंज होता नजर आ रहा है. वो उनका एक लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग थी. हमारे जो कमी है वो हमारी है कि हमारे शॉर्ट टर्म प्लान्स बहुत छोटे छोटे. हम सोचते हैं कि बस यार लगाओ करो, करके फारिग हो, इधर से ये खत्म होता है, हमें क्या. I listened one from the person who was saying he was on a very good rank and he was saying कि वो मूव कर रहे थे कि यार he was thinking कि मेरा मूव करना मेरे बच्चों के लिए फायदेमंद होगा. And then after on the very second moment he said कि मैं अपने बच्चों का की करना, मैं हूं अपना सोचना है और बाद में उन्होंने अपना सोचना है. This is not the thing that we have to do. We have to think of the generations. We have to think of the people coming after us. अगर हम उनके लिए सोचेंगे तो डेफिनेटली किसी ना एक को कुर्बानी देनी पड़ेगी. So the things are कि ये अभी जो चीजें हैं इनको लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग के जब आप लेंगे तो then you could do something, or otherwise this is not only a single problem. These are long list of the problems that is related to these HVAC systems. So the solution we could think of it. It's a smart HVAC. What smart HVAC is and why we want a smart HVAC. With this, आगे इसमें से सिर्फ मैंने सिर्फ इसके जो फर्स्ट टू एस्पेक्ट्स हैं जिसमें एनर्जी कंजम्पशन है और एनवायरमेंटल कंसर्न्स हैं. एनर्जी कंजम्पशन और एनवायरमेंटल कंसर्न्स को जब आप लेते हैं तो देन टू इंटीग्रेट दिस एनर्जी HVAC system with IoT system, AI system, and automation. IoT is what? It's an Internet of Things. AI stands for it's an artificial intelligence, and automation is automation. Okay? And what will happen as a result of this? When your system got integrated with these systems, then it will definitely optimize performance, it will reduce the waste, and then it can enhance the comfort. Because whatever we are doing, we can't compromise on the comfort. क्योंकि HVAC provide ही comfort provide करने के लिए कर रहे हैं. So comfort, environment comfort, and the comfort on your pocket as well. ठीक है. So this is what we could achieve. We can achieve after this. This is optimize. Optimize, I think it's a normal term. Optimization is something that is not bigger, not lesser. It is what we need. Optimization की जब term हम use करते हैं, optimization is according to your need. Whatever that is, it is according to your need. ठीक है. So this is why we need this smart HVAC. There are some strategies. How could we do this smart HVAC? I believe these are the things that मैंने आपको बताया कि बात मैंने शुरू की लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग पे. तो लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग में आप ये चीजों को इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि हम अभी फौरन इसको कुछ कर पाएंगे, बिकॉज इट कुड बी लाइक अ फन एक्टिविटी के इस तरह की बातें हमारे यहाँ पर हो रही हैं, बट वी कैन टॉक ऑन दैम. We can talk on them. We can talk of 0.01% of this as well. We can't say it's 100% implement हो सकता है, but if we could be able to think of 0.01% of this, we could do something, inshallah. Then there are strategies for this energy efficiency in HVAC. There are like demand-based optimization. First of all, to consume or to conserve the energy, what we have to do is we have to adopt the strategy of demand-based optimization. Demand-based means occupancy. अब ये इसके साथ क्या है कि there are sensors like occupancy, sensing, and adaptive control system. अब ये किस तरह से it will control. We know that everyone being an HVAC engineer that the maximum load in a building is the occupancy load. Like 10 लोग हैं, 20 लोग आ जाएंगे, 30 आ जाएंगे, 40 आ जाएंगे, the load on the system will increase. ठीक है. और अगर 10-20 लोग यहाँ से निकल जाएंगे, the load will decrease. ठीक है. if अगर आपका कन्वेंशनल सिस्टम है तो कन्वेंशनल सिस्टम क्या कर रहा है कि एक दफा आपका सिस्टम ऑन हो गया तो वो ऑन ही है, चलते जा रहे हैं. 10 टन का चल रहा है तो चल रहा है. बट if there are sensors, तो फिर वो सेंसर सेंस करे, and this is what they're telling you that occupancy is increasing, and if the occupancy is increasing, then it will sense the amount of temperature, amount of airflow which is required, humidity level they will control the your airflow rate inside the system, inside your vicinity, wherever it is. So this is what it is connected with your control sensors, that they will sense that how much energy, how much cooling is required according to the occupancy level. ठीक है. And then there are like जब carbon dioxide sensing होती है, carbon dioxide sensors, they are very common nowadays in the European or the developed countries. What they will do, they will sense the carbon dioxide amount inside the room, and then they will increase or decrease the ventilation of that room. ठीक है. So these are just what is it? It is the system is connected with some automatic sensors, and they will sense and they will control the system. Okay. And similarly, the zoning techniques, these are definitely in practice techniques, but they are also one of the part of this demand-based optimization. Then there is a load reduction strategies. Load reduction strategies are what? इसमें एक जो यहाँ से omitted है वो तो सबसे पहले जो कंस्ट्रक्शन लेवल पे ही आपकी बिल्डिंग है, try to follow the construction of the according to the location, not just इन द वो किसको उर्दू में कहते हैं भेड़ चाल, नॉट जस्ट फॉलो दैट भेड़ चाल। उसमें क्या है कि पाकिस्तान के अंदर जो आर्किटेक्चर आपको बताता है, पाकिस्तान एनवायरनमेंट इज द बेस्ट। जो यहाँ पे आर्किटेक्चर है, दैट इज द मुगल आर्किटेक्चर, that is not the or European style architecture. It is very different. If we are following the Mughal architecture, then our houses will be too much far better than the others. ठीक है, हमारी डिमांड, हमारी नीड वो नहीं है। यहाँ पे 9-10 महीने गर्मी रहती है। अगर 9-10 महीने गर्मी है, वी डोंट नीड दैट मच एनक्लोज्ड हाउसेस कि जिसमें बंद है। ठीक है, उसमें हमें इस तरह के घरों की या इस तरह की बिल्डिंग स्ट्रक्चर की एनवायरनमेंट की जरूरत होती है जो मुगल आर्किटेक्चर पर। उसमें ये होगा कि आपका बिजनेस शायद आप मतलब उस पॉइंट में भी आता है कि हमारा बिजनेस टॉप कराने में है कि यहाँ पे एचवीएसी डिमांड कम नहीं होगी, बट योर एचवीएसी विल बी इम्प्रूव्ड एचवीएसी। ठीक है, उसमें आपकी इम्प्रूवमेंट आना शुरू हो जाएगी, वो बेस्ट होना शुरू हो जाएगा इफ वी आर टुवर्ड्स द मुगल आर्किटेक्चर। ये दिस इज वन ऑफ द at the scratch. Definitely, we are not at that level, but we can suggest these things. Follow those building structures that are according to the location, and then after that, building envelope improvements. ठीक है, building envelope improvements में किस तरीके के हो सकते हैं systems कि you have to envelop the building in such a way that the insulations should be provided over there in the roofs, in the building, in the walls, so that the dissipation of the heat should be minimum. And similarly, there should be TES system, thermal energy storage systems. There are lots of systems that are developed for this thermal energy storage. And then the very, very hot topic of nowadays, one of the strategy of this smart system, that is the renewable energy integration. The people are running and moving towards this very fastly. This is solar powered HVAC systems. There are geothermal heat pumps. Definitely वो यहाँ नहीं है, जहाँ पे geothermal energy ज़्यादा है तो वो उसमें, but Pakistan is rich in solar energy, so we have to think on it. We have to think on these grounds as well, that how could we shift our systems towards the solar powered HVAC systems. Then there are technologies. Technologies में there are key technologies in the smart HVAC. The first is IoT and smart sensors. अभी थोड़ी सी बात इस पे पहले भी हुई है, but it is IoT is Internet of Things, and the smart sensors that will calculate. Actually, this is not the hypothetical. It is not one-time calculation. It is a real-time monitoring. This is comes in your energy conservation management, that you have to monitor every moment of your building environment, that it's going to monitor its temperature, its humidity, its airflow, its occupancy, and all the things, and then operate the system according to that one. There should be wireless sensor network that enables the predictive adjustments of the system according to the need. Then there is some AI. The second one is technology that AI and machine learning. AI is artificial intelligence. AI will do it what it will detect. ये आपके systems को actually क्या होता है, safe करने के लिए, ठीक है। इसमें हमारे systems जो है वो safe हो जाएंगे, and उनकी जो quality of work और उनकी जो life है वो increase हो जाती है, ठीक। तो AI के अंदर क्या, AI will detect the anomalies. For example, it will tell you that your system, जो भी उसका compressor is going to fail before the shutdown. अगर आपका system in place है, अगर आपका automation system in place है, then it will tell you, it will indicate the error, and it will tell you before that one. The system is before the system goes to break down होने से पहले, ठीक है। And similarly, if we are on the machine learning, and machine learning अभी ये नई terminology है, नया है जो इसमें इंट्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, लेकिन इसमें क्या है, मशीन लर्निंग में क्या है कि ये प्रिडिक्शन के लिए होता है, ठीक है, प्रिडिक्ट कर देता है। ये मशीन लर्निंग मॉडल्स प्रिडिक्ट डिमांड बेस्ड ऑन वेदर, ऑक्यूपेंसी एंड ट्रेंड्स, ठीक है। एक तो आपका इंडिकेट कर देगा और एक आपके प्रिडिक्शन के लिए। अगर प्रिडिक्शन हो जाए, दैट इज ऑन व्हाट, कि उसकी डेफिनेटली वो भी कुछ ग्राउंड रियलिटीज की बेस पे प्रिडिक्शन होगी। प्रिडिक्शन भी हाइपोथेटिकल प्रिडिक्शन नहीं होती है, ठीक है। तो prediction on some ground realities, वो आपका system safe हो जाएगा before it break down. ठीक है? So there is AI, there is machine learning, and then there is an automated controls and the building management system, BMS. BMS में माशाल्लाह sir is very expert and he knew a lot. तो इसमें भी BMS जो है, ये क्या स्मार्ट थर्मोस्टेट्स, लाइक आपके जो सिस्टम्स हैं उसमें नेस्ट है, इकोबी है, they will learn user performance and adjust settings automatically. ठीक है? There are cloud-based HVAC management, remote monitoring via mobile apps and dashboards. Then there are advanced HVAC components. What are these? We use the VRFs and HRVs. VRFs are variable refrigerant flow systems. Then heat recovery ventilator systems. So these are some technologies that are in place and people are using these ones nowadays, and we are seeing their benefits as well. There are some case studies who implemented these systems and what they get. Okay. I included there some of the examples like the Edge building जो है, the Edge Amsterdam. This building is known as the world's greenest building. ठीक है? अब इसने उन्होंने सिस्टम कौन सा यूज किया, जो हमने अभी पीछे टेक्नोलॉजीज पढ़ी है उनमें से IoT sensors, AI driven HVAC systems, and then geothermal energy, because this is in and that location European side है, तो यहाँ पे आपको पता है जो geothermal energy is, they are rich in geothermal energy, so it is geothermal energy system, but we can move towards what is in our location. ठीक है? तो उसके रिजल्ट्स उन्होंने जो दिए, that is 70% reduction in energy use versus the traditional buildings, and there is a 98% employee satisfaction due to optimal comfort. ठीक है? इस बिल्डिंग को सिर्फ देख लेते हैं एक दफा. Thank you.
Welcome to the Edge. This is certifiably the greenest office building in the world. But that just might be the least interesting part about it, because the Edge in Amsterdam is also possibly the most connected office space in the world. Working at the Edge is insane. It all starts with a smartphone app developed by the building's main tenant, the consulting firm Deloitte. When you arrive at the Edge, a camera recognizes you by your license plate for automatic access. And because it's the Netherlands, there are chargers available for electric cars. Inside, things start to get interesting because you don't have a desk. No one here does. Workspaces are assigned to you based on your schedule for the day. You have options: a work booth, a meeting room, what they call concentration room, a sitting desk, a standing desk, a balcony desk. You can even just hang out in the sun-filled atrium all day. This concept is called hot desking, and it's what allows Deloitte to have 2,500 workers, but less than half as many desks at its Dutch headquarters. The app knows your preferences, and when you arrive at your workspace, the lights dim or brighten based on your stored settings. And any of the building's massive flat screens can be instantly paired with an iPhone or a laptop. So what makes all this possible? The LED light panels developed by Philips specifically for the Edge are actually powered by low voltage Ethernet cables, which means every light in the building becomes its own internet connected data hub with 28,000 sensors that makes the building and its users smarter.
The building becomes a very important part of who we are and what we want to be, and we actually see in recruitment that more people are now spontaneously coming to Deloitte because they want to work in this building.
Oh yeah, and then there's these. The building has solar on the roof and on the south-facing wall, enough to power the building and all of the electric cars, computers, and smartphones used by its employees. And those employees are kept warm by two enormous boreholes tunneling more than 400 feet down beneath the building. During the summer, the Edge pumps warm water deep into the aquifer, where it sits insulated until it can be sucked back out in the winter to warm the building. Outside, there are beehive towers and bat homes to support the local pollinators, and even the rainwater is collected into flush the toilets and irrigate the garden.
We are planning to build a lot more buildings like these, and the next one will be smarter, and the one after that will be smarter as well. And we won't stop until all cities in the world are filled with buildings that are intelligent and that are not using any energy anymore. In the end, we will actually need less buildings in the world, but the buildings that are there will be used in a better way, will be more efficient, and will be using a lot less energy than in the past.
Sometimes the Edge just feels like it's showing off, and some of the app functionality isn't quite ready for prime time yet. But most of the time, this is all running seamlessly in the background. It's maybe the most fully realized vision of the Internet of Things the world has ever seen.
It's a building that has sustainability as an important aspect of making a good place to work. In Dutch, there is even a word for this new kind of thinking about the workspace, nieuwe werken. In a nutshell, it means that work space is more focused on the tasks that need to be done and the working community that it's part of.
Another day at the Edge comes to an end. A custom security robot that looks a bit like R2-D2 wakes up and begins its patrols. Now, if only the app could automatically conjure up a nice dinner recipe, maybe provide all the fresh ingredients at the end of the day to get you cooking. No surprise, the Edge has that too. Right.
This is the similar. They are using this. Tesla is using the what they are using. They have moved actually towards the renewable energy resources. What there is again, they are using the geothermal HVAC. There it is AI based load management, and the result is it's a 30% lower energy cost despite the massive scale, and there is net zero energy goal. What they are achieving from there.
Tesla is by far one of the most successful companies in modern history. They popularized fully electric cars and created a massive demand among the public. With a market cap of around $380 billion, Tesla is growing by the day. But to keep up with orders, Tesla built a futuristic facility called the Gigafactory. Today, we're taking a look inside the Tesla Gigafactory. Tesla currently produces about 350,000 cars a year, far fewer than the public demands. But they have ambitions to ramp up production to more than 20 million cars a year. This bold strategy will require numerous advances in their current chain of production, including several larger factories, which are currently being built all over the world. But the bedrock of Tesla's production line is their Gigafactory in Sparks, Nevada. The company's first fully built factory will serve as the model for what eventually could be a dozen massive Tesla factories. Tesla, meanwhile, said US orders for the Model 3 have outpaced its available output for the past 2 years. The Gigafactory, which is open around the clock, currently has 7,000 employees. The Gigafactory cranks out approximately 2 battery packs every minute. Its production is currently estimated to be 5,000 a week, with room to grow, according to Sam Gaff, managing director with Cairn Energy Research Advisors in Boulder, Colorado. Tesla's Project Roadrunner aims to reduce costs to $100 per kilowatt hour by 2021. Tesla has shown an ability and a drive to reduce both cell costs and battery pack costs, he said. They have been planning for this moment, with this tremendous cost advantage for a long time, and in general, they have executed well on it. That's not to say there haven't been growing pains at the Gigafactory. Tesla initially partnered with Panasonic to produce its proprietary batteries. Panasonic claimed they could increase energy density within Tesla's batteries, and after years of allegedly fraught relationships between the two companies, they recently inked another deal that is due to last until 2023. Panasonic is not Tesla's exclusive battery supplier anymore, since they began partnerships with LG Chem and CATL to supply cells in China. Working alongside the factory's 7,000 human employees are a team of super smart robots. Some of the robots navigate through the factory using digital maps. An employee expanded on that, saying they're really on a fixed path, so it's very predictable. They're going to the same locations, picking up from one location and emptying off at another location. And what it allows us to really do is to have things moving from inventory to line side all day long without a whole lot of human intervention at all. Gigafactory 1 is aligned on true north, which was done so that the equipment can be mapped by GPS and solar panels on the roof can be accurately aligned. The factory has also been designed to become entirely energy self-reliant. Tesla intends to power the structure through a combination of on-site solar, wind, and geothermal sources. When completed, the building will have the largest footprint in the world and the second largest volume. Though Tesla has faced scrutiny for wastefulness within the factory, its master plan includes many energy-saving features. For example, excess heat from equipment such as compressors and high-temperature ovens will be able to not only run equipment efficiently, but to help keep the factory warm in the colder months. Tesla's Gigafactory also has a water cooling system that repels extremely low temperatures. Because of the way
This AI transforms a kid's photo into a personalized storybook parents will pay for.
Here's how it works.
the air is here in Nevada, it's dry and really hot during the day, but it's very cool at night. We do have a 10 million gallon water tank out back, and it allows that water to cool down. We use it for air conditioning. A lot of the equipment requires chilled water to operate to keep it running, said Lauren Cito, a Tesla employee. Tesla's Vice President of Operations, Chris Lister, also spoke in video. We really wanted to get to a point where this is going to become a fully net zero facility, leaving zero carbon footprint, creating products that also leave zero carbon footprint. Nevertheless, Giga Nevada has turned a profit for the first time in 2020, thanks in particular to the substantial increase in demand for Tesla cars. For Panasonic, this means that their investment of $1.6 billion in the Nevada plant is finally yielding returns, roughly 3.5 years after entering full production. When construction began in 2015, it appeared that Tesla was risking everything on the Gigafactory 1. It would churn out the batteries necessary for the Tesla Model 3, which is the car that was supposed to make or break the company, and for which Tesla already had hundreds of thousands of orders, despite first deliveries still being more than a year away. At this point, production had already started in the form of Tesla Powerwalls and Power Packs, which are meant for stationary energy storage for a home or a business. A Powerwall is a bit like an enormous battery hanging out on your wall for whenever you need it, for power outages or even just smoothing out energy consumption. One Power Pack, in turn, is 16 Powerwall batteries in a stack, and the energy stored inside can power a typical American home for 3 days, Tesla says. At least 5 states competed to attract Gigafactory by offering tax incentives, cash grants, and other methods in the hope of future business. California, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, and Texas, where San Antonio had offered bigger incentives with no sales tax but did not get the factory. States without sales tax were topping the list of preferred sites. Nevada estimates a tax base of $1.9 billion over 20 years. After sticky negotiations, Tesla chose the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, or TRIC, as the location of the Gigafactory, mainly due to speed and a state of Nevada incentive package. Other location reasons were rail access, direct salability, and low air humidity to ensure less than 300 parts per million humidity in production. The TRIC owners gave the first 1,000 acres to Tesla for free. And of course, the factory is not without controversy. In August 2018, Carl Hansen, a former member of the company's security team, filed a whistleblower complaint with the Securities and Exchange Commission. In the complaint, he alleges that Tesla suppressed an internal investigation into various criminal activities that occurred at Giga Nevada during his tenure. For one, Hansen alleges that the company refused to inform the DEA and local law enforcement officials about evidence of cocaine and crystal meth smuggling occurring on factory grounds in connection with the Mexican drug cartel. Hansen also claims in it that the company successfully suppressed his internal investigation into the alleged theft of $37 million worth of raw materials. Following the complaint, Hansen went on to allege that Tesla fired him as an employee and then as a contractor.
Thank you. The point is, why we are just taking them as an example to see that how the people utilize these things, and they utilize these things with a thought, and they have started all of this not too far, like ये अभी 2015 से start हुए और इसकी construction, and then they have finished it up. Definitely there is a high cost is required. अभी आगे इस पे चलते हैं. These are just, then there is a Singapore Smart HDB, क्योंकि अगर आप यूरोप से निकल के आते हैं, यूरोप के अलावा भी लोगों ने इसको अडॉप्ट करना शुरू किया है, द स्मार्ट लिविंग. They have used this automated demand controlled ventilations, and with this they have found that around 25% of the energy savings for resident, and then they find it's an improved indoor air quality. Now, how could we monitor and manage these techniques? There is a real-time energy dashboards which we can do it. There are some fault detection and diagnostic systems that could diagnose, or they could detect the refrigerant leakage or dirty filters reducing airflows or motor inefficiencies wherever it is. And then there are continuous commissioning of the system. All of this these are the systems जो अभी monitoring और management के लिए there are specific software tools for these available in them, and we can do with that one. What the future trend of the sustainable HVAC that the world is moving towards, we are just looking for it, and that is net zero energy buildings, that is HVAC powered by renewable. आप जितना भी देखते हैं उन्होंने अपने, चाहे वो हाइब्रिड मॉड में, अभी 3 बिल्डिंग्स हमने देखी हैं, इन तीनों बिल्डिंग्स में what they are using, they are moving towards the renewable energy resources, whatever the resources at that specific places. अभी आपने पहली जो बिल्डिंग देखी, there is a geothermal resource, and the second one there is a combination of wind, geothermal and solar as well, and in the last one they were also using the solar energy. And this magnetic and thermoelectric cooling system. And then what is this? The world is thinking of AI driven dynamic load management that will reduce the energy waste. Okay. Now what the challenges and future trends? सबसे बड़ा challenge definitely it's a cost. Okay, it's a high initial cost, हमें लगानी पड़ेगी. If anyone who is thinking of it, then he has to implement. This is all the matter of your pocket कि कितना आप उस पर spend कर सकते हैं और कितना spend करने की वो जिगरा रखते हैं, और फिर ये कि in the right direction of क्या उसको कहते हैं spend, कि we spend a lot of money but we spend where we should spend it or where we should not spend it. ठीक है, हम लोग महीनों का जो बिल है, अभी आप ये 7 महीने ऑलमोस्ट मई से लेके सितंबर अक्टूबर तक पे करते हैं, but we all of us pay our heavy bills, but how could we manage this one if we move, अगर हम एक initially cost लगा लें तो उसके बाद हम एक long term में उसका benefit उठा सकते हैं. But what we can't do is कि हम उस initial cost को लगाने में थोड़ा सा घबरा जाते हैं, जिसकी वजह से हम उसका long term benefit नहीं उठा पाते. ठीक है, it's a high energy definitely, इसमें कोई भी दूसरी राय नहीं है कि इसके लिए आपको एक अच्छी investment और cost required है. Then there is a cyber security risks, definitely they are there. ठीक है, so these are the challenges which with these systems are. Then the future trends, definitely this is self-learning HVAC systems, there's a 5G at edge computing system, blockchain for energy trending, all of these things are there. What we conclude and what our takeaway points are. Okay, what we conclude from here. Smart HVAC, definitely it will reduce energy consumption by 30 to 50% of while enhancing your comfort. ठीक है, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है. Then the system is there is AI, IoT, renewable energy, renewable resources or integration with this system are transforming HVAC efficiency. Then there is a real world case studies that proves significant cost and energy savings, and the continuous monitoring and predictive maintenance ensures long term sustainability. Point of action या call of action क्या हो सकता है on the business level and on the government level? Definitely a single person can't do anything, so the business and the homeowners they should adopt the smart HVAC for cost and energy saving, and the government should incentivize the green HVAC technologies. ठीक है, so these are the things that we can think of it. Inshallah, there is a question answer if anyone has. This.
What is the name of software you were discussing immediately?
There are different, like जो अभी एनर्जी मैनेजमेंट की बात हुई थी, एनर्जी मैनेजमेंट जो मॉनिटरिंग एंड मैनेजमेंट है, उस केस में सबसे पहले तो मॉनिटरिंग के लिए डिफरेंट है, लाइक उसमें एनर्जी प्लस का भी आता है. ठीक है, और इसके अलावा आपके पास उसकी ट्रांसेस के सॉफ्टवेयर्स हैं, लेकिन वो ट्रांसेस इज नॉट ओनली फॉर द मैनेजमेंट मॉनिटरिंग, दैट इज फॉर your whole energy, your whole HVAC system, उसकी initial crash to the maintenance, वो हर चीज़ को लेके जाता है. और भी बहुत सारे होंगे, मेरी इसमें IT में बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सपर्टीज नहीं है, but they will be definitely one.
Pakistan is the greenest building that we ever have.
Sorry. नहीं, पाकिस्तान में अभी डेफिनेटली द पीपल आर थिंकिंग एट देयर ओन, तो जितना वो कर सकें, क्योंकि डेफिनेटली वी आर एट दिस एज वी आर इन अ इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस. ठीक है, वो है हमारी इनिशियल कॉस्ट.
The greenest building, what we say, greenest building. Basically, this is a term called lead certification. So what you explain here, this is all comes in a lead design.
लीड
When you have a lead design, is conserve energy and
डेफिनेटली
the resources.
डेफिनेटली
They don't waste any resources like the water you said. The
Exactly.
water, they're collecting the rainwater
yes,
and they are irrigating it and they are collecting the wastewater.
Wastewater.
They are using that water also. They are using light,
lighting, natural light,
to save the energy.
definitely
The goal is to save the energy.
exactly.
Once you save the energy, it means your this heat island effect, it will become less.
It will become less, definitely. This is the best point.
That is
The
the
what-
rate per square foot आप कितनी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी सेव कर रहे
बिल्कुल
हैं, कितनी एक्सपेंस कर रहे हैं, उसके ऊपर कितनी सेव कर रहे हैं.
बिल्कुल.
और अभी पाकिस्तान में जितनी भी मल्टीनेशनल में अगर टेक्सटाइल है तो उसमें मोस्टली जो है वो लीड सर्टिफिकेशन होती है, उनकी गोल्ड प्लाटिनम उनकी ये सर्टिफिकेशन है जिसके ऊपर और इदारे काम कर रहे हैं.
जी सर.
और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह
In Lahore, British Council is one of the examples for lead building.
Okay.
Also many buildings which are getting lead certification.
I knew this topic digestible मुश्किल है, but
it's the future now.
yes, this is the future. This is the point only over here is that this is the future and we need to think on it. We need to think on it, whatever we could do. Even minimum is we can go for the solar energy.
Solar
We can move towards the solar energy. Pakistan being a nuclear power, we have a shortage of energy. It's a big joke. जो हमें 20 साल से सुन रहे हैं, it is a big joke for Pakistan. तो उसके अलावा पाकिस्तान is the richest country about renewable resources. हर renewable resources आप जब इसकी स्टडी करेंगे on the basis of the landscape, आप लाहौर में हैं, आप पंजाब में हैं, we are richest in the solar energy. आप इसके अलावा सिंध की साइड पे मूव कर जाए, आपको जियो थर्मल एनर्जी मिल जाएगी. आप कोस्टल एरियाज में चले जाए, आपको विंड एनर्जी मिल जाएगी. We are the people who are richest in all of these renewable energy resources. So we need to think on it. How could we move towards the change? और
प्राइवेट
change
ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस कर रही हैं
बिल्कुल.
लेकिन आहिस्ता आहिस्ता, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट जो है वो अभी भी उस चीज़ के ऊपर इतने ज़्यादा ना तो हमारे ऊपर वाले समझने को तैयार है, ना
बिल्कुल.
उनको समझाने के लिए हमारे पास ऑनेस्टली
नहीं है resources नहीं. बिल्कुल ऐसे.
तो है कि यू आर टीचिंग देयर, तो जो नई जनरेशन है उनको आप स्टडी मतलब उसमें चीज़ में इम्प्लीमेंट करवाएं ताकि वहाँ से थीम चेंज होता. और जो अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमारे जो आर्किटेक्ट्स हैं उनका भी इतना एक्सपोजर नहीं है, जहाँ से बेसिकली जो बिल्डिंग शुरू होती है
बिल्कुल ऐसे है.
वहाँ से बिल्डिंग जहाँ से उन्होंने वो वहीं से सारी जो है, क्योंकि वो मेजरली गाइड करने वाले हैं क्लाइंट को या tenant को या जिसको, तो वहाँ से अगर उनको प्रॉपर गाइड किया जाए तो वो फिर सिस्टम से आगे
System.
और वो सारी चीज़ें जो है.
Exactly.
और क्लाइंट भी बताते हैं खुद अब तो पाकिस्तान में है अभी तो खैर मतलब अब आहिस्ता आहिस्ता वो भी एजुकेट होना, जब उसको अपने फिनेंशियल वो समय एडवांटेजेस नजर आते हैं तब वो मूव करता है कि अगर मैं लीड पे जाऊंगा तो मैं ये है. आजकल एक और कार्बन एमिशन के ऊपर काम हो रहा है, तो उसके ऊपर आप कार्बन पॉइंट्स के ऊपर
Exactly. आप कार्बन पॉइंट कलेक्ट करें, डॉलर्स में आपको मिल रहे हैं वो.
और इवन के वो आपके हमारे इधर वो एक टेक्नीशियन जो है वो एक रेफ्रिजरेंट की 1 टन की गैस बड़ा इजी है कि इसको खारिज कर दो अपने चंद पैसों के लिए.
Exactly.
उसके लिए बकायदा कि वो 1 टन की जो रेफ्रिजरेशन है उसको उसके जो ओजोन के लिए उसको टेक केयर करने के लिए 40 वक्त आपको चाहिए. हर
Exactly.
आधे सेकंड के बाद आपके पास एक एसी फरोख्त हो रहा है. 40 लाख एसी तो पाकिस्तान में मतलब वो, और आप सोचें कि उसका क्या
इम्पैक्ट वही है. वी कांट इवन ब्रीथ. आप सोचिए, आप क्लाइमेट, आप जैसे ही दिसंबर से जनवरी में आते हैं, आप बाहर नहीं निकल सकते हैं.
1.5 मंथ आप लिविंग जो हमारा वो विंटर का जो है वो
Winter.
वो आपको बताया सारा आपका समर चल रहा है, इस वक्त गर्मी है और आपके सामने मई में 45 एमजी है. हमने तो नहीं उस चीज को एक्सपेक्ट किया, लेकिन अभी आपके सामने
ऐसे ही है.
Temperature is increasing.
इंक्रीज
Definitely, it's a
Every year temperature is increasing.
जितनी आपकी कार्बन एमिशंस, जितना आपका कार्बन बढ़ेगा डेफिनेटली ये कैप्चर करेगा, और जितना ज़्यादा, और इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा रोल है हमारे, जितनी फॉसिल फ्यूल बर्निंग है। अभी टेस्ला की भी बात हो रही है, ये मतलब अभी तो वो दिखा रहे हैं कि ये नेट जीरो पे है, लेकिन अब ये है कान को इधर से पकड़ो या घुमा के उधर से पकड़ो, क्योंकि जो इन्होंने इलेक्ट्रिसिटी यूटिलाइज करनी है वो कहाँ से लेनी है, वो फॉसिल फ्यूल वो पीछे से, अगर वो वही प्लांट से आ रही है तो वहां से फिर दोबारा वो उसको फॉसिल फ्यूल बर्न कर रहे हैं, वहां से कार्बन एमिशंस फिर हो रही हैं। क्योंकि इस पे दोबारा एक और केस स्टडीज थी जो कार्बन एमिशंस के कहते हैं, उसमें यही था कि हाउ कुड टेस्ला कुड से दैट इट इज अ जीरो एमिशन। इनकी गाड़ियों के वो चेक करें कि कितने किस रेट पे गाड़ी बन रही है, और इनको मल्टीप्लाई करें कि वो कार्बन एमिशन जो पीछे से प्लांट से आनी है, इनको वो कहाँ से जा रहा है, तो वो इन टर्न वो दोबारा से जो है वो इस चीज के तहत आता है।
हाइड्रोजन कार्स अगर वो इंट्रोड्यूस होती हैं और वो आ जाती हैं कमर्शियली, दैट इज द बेस्ट सोल्यूशन। पानी से आप उसको हाइड्रोजन ऑक्सीजन लेके उसको चार्ज चलाएंगे आप।
बिल्कुल है, बिल्कुल है।
ये इलेक्ट्रिक कार ईवीज इट विल बी अ डिजास्टर बाय
Again, it is not a sustainable,
how you will dispose those batteries after 10 years or 15 years
Same like
and where it will be disposed.
Definitely.
रेफ्रिजरेंट क्या उसको कहते हैं कि आप उसको जो है ना वो रिसाइकिल करें, या उसको डंप करेंगे तो डंप करने के बावजूद वो हमारे लिए भी मसला है,
प्रॉब्लम बन जाएगा। Definitely.
कितनी डंप करेंगे,
बिल्कुल,
रिसाइकलिंग इज द लेकिन
definitely. जी जी, thank you so much for all of you for listening me and for bearing me for 1 hour. Alhamdulillah, but it is a good session. Thank you so much. Yes.